Welcome. Thanks for tuning into The Good Nurse Outlook, a podcast about life from a nurse's point of view. But if you're not a nurse, that's okay too. Not only will I discuss things nursing and healthcare related, but everyday matters as well. Honestly, the topics are endless. I'm your host, Nurse Naj. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome to episode 3 of The Good Nurse Outlook. Thank you guys so much for leaving comments and text messages and responding to me on social media and liking my post and reposting my post and just supporting me. It's been so nice. Yes, it's been very nice. That's what it's been. Don't forget to keep it coming. Okay, be serious, girl. If you're listening to me on Spotify, please subscribe. Please leave a review, 5 stars preferably. If you're watching me on YouTube, please leave a comment. Please engage with me. Please like, subscribe. If you're listening to me on any other platform, Apple Podcasts. Yes, leave a review, please. And if you found me on TikTok, welcome. My name is Naja. I'm an ER nurse. I do travel nursing, and I just graduated with my adult gerontology primary care nurse practitioner. This podcast is for nurses. If you're not a nurse, it's fine. There's other topics that I will discuss. Just so happen these last couple of episodes are nursing related, which bring me into episode 3. Today's episode is how to cope after a bad shift. I'm sure you heard coworkers say things like, once I get to the parking lot, I forget this job. Once I punch out, this job doesn't exist. However, that's not true. Many people actually bring their work problems home. It's not unlikely to have a bad day at work and not go home to vent about it or beat yourself up about what occurred while driving home. You may feel some type of way once you return to work, and that can affect how you work, how you present yourself when you're at work. A bad shift, I know in nursing, can be from working long hours without having a break, having a heavy assignment, feeling like your assignment was unfair, receiving an attitude or smart remarks during shift change, especially if you're a new nurse and you're giving report to a senior nurse. I know that can be very intimidating because they already know the questions to ask before you even get there. They know what answers they want, and sometimes you don't have them. And if you are that nurse that's just being mean to someone incoming, don't be that nurse. You were once a new nurse as well. So show grace. Nursing is 24/7 and not everything can be done on one shift. Show some kindness. And worst of all, a bad shift can be caused by conflict, coworker drama, dealing with different personalities, cultures, egos, and titles. It could be too much. According to an article on workplace conflict, the statistics in 2022 state that 85% of employees experience some kind of conflict. That's a lot. 85%. If we were talking about work attendance, people don't even get 85% work attendance. And now you got to go there and expect there's an 85% chance of conflict that's going to occur when you get there. Some percentages that really stuck out to me were 49% of workplace conflict happens as a result of personality clashes and egos. 34% of workplace conflict happen among employees on the front line. No surprise there. 33% of workplace conflict is a result of heavy workloads. This article must have just been working as a nurse. And as you can imagine, the outcomes related to workplace conflict are not that great. Personal insults, physical attacks, arguments, bullying, work call-outs, just to name a few. And do not think that calling out is excessive, because honestly, I know many people that call out because they had a terrible shift the night before or the day before, and they just couldn't come in the next day, regardless of title. And I saw them the next day or the next time that I worked with them, and they told me, I just took a mental health day, which many people in healthcare really don't do enough of. Y'all definitely should take those mental health days. It's very, very crucial to stay sane. So how to deal with leaving a bad shift. Depending on the cause, a bad shift can have you feeling worthless, depressed, incompetent, not sure of yourself. It can really send you in a spiral. I remember I was in the ED. I was the primary nurse. The patient started coding on me. I was doing compressions. The PCT ran to get help, and the MD came in and he started yelling at me, and he's like, "Why aren't you pushing meds?" And I'm doing compressions, what? And he just came down on me so hard. And then of course more people came in, and then the entire experience was just so shocking and traumatizing. People were yelling in different ways, and Then the tech was trying to put the pads on. I was still doing compressions because no one had relieved me at the time. Another nurse came in and broke the crash cart. And it was just like, and then they're like, who's the primary nurse? And they're like, she's doing compressions. Why are you doing compressions? And I'm like, somebody relieve me from compressions. Like, it was a mess. Nonetheless, the whole experience was just terrible. And then after the situation, the doctor had like an attitude with me all day. And then coworkers were like, listen, you did the right thing. Like, patient codes, you're in the room. Someone went to get help. You start compressions. Like, duh, CPR, BLS 101. Nonetheless, I went home. I was so mad. I was like, who does he think he is? Who does he think he's talking to like that? And, all these things in my head. We are supposed to be working as a team. Not only you yelling at me is like stress, the situation is stressful. A patient coding in front of you and expiring in front of you is traumatic enough without the added pressures. In the moment, it can be so intense. People don't even realize. I went home. I had nightmares. I was so mad with that MD. I didn't speak to him for weeks. And nurses work 3 shifts a week. Unless it was about the patient, I was not speaking with him. I wasn't seeing if he wanted some coffee in the break room because we made. I wasn't doing nothing. I had no contact with this man. And honestly, it only hindered me because, like, I walked around with this attitude towards him because of the bad experience that I had when it could have been resolved in many other ways. So here's 6 things that you can do to help cope with after a rough shift and also improves your mental health. Number 1, you want to identify what made the shift bad. Was it the handoff report? Was it the heavy assignment? Was it that you didn't get a break, the coworker drama or conflict? You cannot address something that you cannot identify. Once you have identified the cause, you can navigate your emotions and develop a plan. Saying affirmations: I am a great nurse. I did the best I could in that moment. I trust my judgment. I trust my skills. I am a hard worker. I got this. Affirmations increase happiness, gratefulness. They reduce resistance, reinforce positive thinking, and they also help your subconscious thoughts. Studies also indicate that positive affirmations can help build and restore self-confidence. Did I even say number 2? Number 3, exercise. According to Exercise and Mental Health, an article by Better Health, research shows that people who exercise regularly have better mental health and emotional well-being and lower rates of mental illness. Exercise not only boosts our moods, concentration, and alertness, but it improves our cardiovascular and overall physical health. The levels of chemicals in the brain, such as serotonin, stress hormones, and endorphins, they change when you exercise. Regular exercise can help you sleep better, and good sleep helps you manage your mood. Physical activity can be an outlet for your frustrations. Studies show lower moderate intensity exercise is enough to make a difference in terms of your mood and thinking patterns. Start small, build up your activity gradually, vary your activities so you don't get bored, plan your workouts, write them down. I know, as a nurse, right, it's so hard to exercise. We have all these things going on. Even though we work 3 days, we're off one day and we're so tired we can't do anything. And then we got to try to cram everything else into those other days: appointments, laundry, groceries, meal prepping. If you try, it's not only important to teach patients that they should be exercising, but us as healthcare providers, we should be doing the same. Number 4, journaling. Writing down your thoughts can help you understand them more clearly. Journalizing prioritizes your problems, identifies or recognizes triggers, while also helping you make important connections between thoughts. Journaling helps you acknowledge, accept, and gain control of your emotions while exploring your experience and shifting your perspective. There has been so many times where I've been so frustrated and I've just stepped back, I thought on it, and I was like, wow, I have so many thoughts that go on in my head at times that I write them down. But then when I write them down and I read them back, I realize, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, or not even that. I did this, but I could have responded and reacted differently. And then that has also led me to like apologize for certain actions, or even just in the future make better choices in how I respond to certain situations. Number 5, a quick vent, a 10-minute max. I'm telling you, anything more than 10 minutes, I really want to say 5, but anything more than 10 minutes, it's just gonna bring back those emotions and that anger that you have going on, and it's not going to be beneficial for you at all. I'm good for a quick 5-minute rant, super quick. I'm just like shooting out my problems. Tell me I'm right, tell me they're wrong, and we can rationalize the truth later. However, there are some bad sides to venting, because when you vent, the other person can confirm your emotions. Yeah, that's not you. That's them. Don't sweat it. And it can be nice to hear those confirmations, but also if you're in the wrong, then you want to be careful who you're venting to, because you want to make sure that they're not just telling you what you want to hear. Venting can also bring clarity. Venting allows you to rationalize and validate your feelings, concerns, and experience. The positive side of venting is that it can reduce stress. However, like I said earlier, the negative is it can heighten stress, keeping negative and aggressive thoughts alive. To be honest, I'm one of those people that needs to vent. I don't care what the situation is. I'm working on toning it down with the venting. I need to tell somebody what happened, how this person made me feel, and you need to listen to me. But not everybody is a venter. Some people don't even want people to know that they are feeling some type of way. So they just holds it in, and then that comes to bite you in the butt later, because I've seen this many times where then, oh, she's so nice, she's so quiet, and then that person explodes. Honey, it is like, that's why I be nice to everybody, because I don't want no problems. Most people can hold in their experiences. They go to other coping mechanisms, which aren't the best. Doing other things that it could just probably be solved by just expressing it to someone, or even getting a different point of view and being able to express it to the person you were having conflict with. Which brings me to number 6: confront it. Address it right away. Deal with issues as they arise. Now, this is a skill that takes time. However, no worries. If a conflict arises, take a breather, think it over, maybe express it to someone else first, then revisit confronting the person once you have a level head. If you have never experienced conflict, let me be the one to tell you. Ignoring a problem and suppressing an experience can replay over and over in your head. And then that just heightens your emotions. And then you have all these thoughts like, oh, I should have said this, or da 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 da, and you didn't say what you wanted to say, or maybe you didn't know how to say it. And then you think, next time they say something to me, I'm gonna be ready. But it could be so small. So that person you had conflict with, right? Maybe they told you to do something, but you're still holding on to that anger from like 2 days ago or last week. And they tell you to do something, you fed up. You're like, I ain't doing nothing. And you spaz out. And you take it to the extreme. People are going to be looking at you like you're the crazy one. They're going to be like, where did that come from? And that's why it's so important to address situations as soon as you can, because unresolved issues, they never go away. It just makes room for passive aggressive attitudes in the workplace. If you're not comfortable confronting the issue, confront it in private. Even have like a mediator, have a manager, a charge nurse, or a colleague that you feel kind of new in the situation. Express to them how you feel, and then listen to their feedback. Try to squash it out with the person, because I said so. When you're confronting issues with a person, be firm, be friendly but direct. Involve a manager or a charge RN if needed. It does help to have an objective party in the room. During the incident when you did this, it made me feel like this. I don't appreciate your tone or how you're speaking with me, especially since we're all on the same team. Confronting issues can also help you and the other person see how things could have gone different, opening a different perspective and a response. Bad shifts and conflicts are going to happen. Ignoring the issue or staying late, trying to clean up an assignment, it's not always going to work. Nurse, you are not your assignment, and lovely people, you are not your job, but you do have to go there, and you should be comfortable there. So if you're having a bad shift, please refer to these coping mechanisms. If you have any other things that you have done to help you cope after a bad shift, I know a lot of nurses joke about hitting the bar after a rough shift, and some of them don't joke, some of them be serious. 2023, let's do effective coping mechanisms. Okay, if you have any effective coping mechanisms that maybe I didn't hit or I missed, let me know in the comments. Again, thanks so much for tuning in to the Good Nurse Outlook. Until next time, stay well, stay safe, and be kind.